Hi, this is Andrew Diemer again, your natural chef, and tonight I wanted to do my take on an organic entree using a lot of high quality ingredients, and I'm also gonna display a little bit of my sushi flair to this dish. Just have a bunch of greens. I got green beans, collard greens, Brussels sprouts, lemon, mandarin, avocado. I have some quinoa, which I'm going to prepare for you guys. My quinoa, I always like, as any grains, I like to wash it and rinse it a little bit, which I just already have done. Already done that to this, so it's ready to go. It's organic, so I don't worry about it as much, but I always like to do that to all my grains. All my food I like to wash really thoroughly. So I have some butternut squash, some bell pepper, and some cilantro, some garlic, spices, cumin, turmeric. There's some Thai seasoning, a bunch of oregano, sea salt, Himalayan salt, brewer's yeast. It's just a mix that I've come up with over the years of cooking that I really, really enjoy, and I put it on breakfast, lunch, dinner, sometimes even certain desserts. I have some flax oil, some tamari, which is a higher end soy sauce, really good, organic. Some organic olive oil, and I also have some organic virgin coconut oil. So what I'm going to start is what takes the longest time to prepare, and that's going to be the quinoa. You can sometimes get away with making quinoa in about 20 minutes, but you would be really lucky to do so. So I am going to find, I'm only going to make this for two people, so if I was going any bigger, I'd probably use a bigger pot, of course. So I'm going to take a little bit of my quinoa here. That should be plenty. Get some water in there. Usually with most grains, get a little more rinsing. I love to rinse my grains a lot. Usually with most grains, you want 2 parts water to whatever part grain you have. But I've also learned through experience through sushi. My Japanese sensei always taught me that when you do rice, this is for rice especially, you put your hand on top of the rice, you want the water to come into the interwebs of your fingers. And that will assure that there's enough water in there to cook your grains very thoroughly. So right now it looks about good. I'm just gonna give it another little splash for good measure. And I want to get it. I'm gonna put it on high just till I'm doing everything as it was a speed in the restaurant. So I'm gonna put it on high just till it comes to a boil. Then I'm going to cover it and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. So next step is I want to decide what vegetables I want in my dish, and I'm gonna go with bell pepper because I love it. It's very high in vitamin C, and it brings great, beautiful color to the dish. So usually cut out all the innards of this. Make it pretty, and then I'm gonna julienne it. And what I'm gonna do this for is I'm basically gonna make this dish look like it's gonna be almost like a sushi roll, but I'm gonna use a collard green instead. And so I'm thinking of my design that I want inside. So my colors and how I'm gonna place everything. I'm also gonna take some butternut squash And just cut the skin off it. Some people use a peeler, but I like to use my knife for everything. It keeps me in good respect with it with my knife skills. And it's just the way I've always done things. So I am going to just kind of cut these in like thin little, I don't know, they're probably like 1/3 of an inch slices here. Just so the steam will cook it a little more thoroughly when I cook these. So, decided I'm going to steam pretty much this whole meal as well. I use steaming a lot because steaming is pretty much the most healthy way you can cook to retain vitamins. And why would we be cooking anyway if we want to destroy all the good nutrients in such quality food? So steaming is how I come about. It's kind of like my style. I've adapted it, and I can do some pretty amazing dishes all by just using steam. So, keeping an eye on my water over there so I can get that covered. I'm going to take some cloves of garlic here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but I'm going to get them started. And then I'm also going to bring the lemon out because I know I'm probably going to use that for a little acidity. And I'm going to use some Brussels sprouts because they taste awesome and they look great on the plate. So, and my water's starting to come to a boil over here, so I'm going to take this, turn it down, simmer low, keep it on low for a little bit until it overflows and I have to rush over there and correct it. So, yes, next step. Want to get some water, and what we're going to be doing is steaming these vegetables. Steaming, depending on the vegetable, doesn't take too long, so we just want about 1 inch of water. Be good enough for our basket here, maybe a little less than 1 inch of water, and get this started. This started on high as well, just to speed the process up as if we were cooking in a restaurant. So I got my butternut squash segments here, my julienne bell pepper, and Brussels sprouts, garlic. Sometimes you be careful on the cutting board where you do this, or everything will taste like garlic, so we'll keep it to the corner here. And kind of crack it, make it easier to peel. And I think I might actually leave these whole and steam them as well. Kind of get them up in the mixture. Remove the shell from all these guys. So while our water is boiling, the steamer to get ready, I am going to get my protein out, and which tonight I'll be using some gorgeous red snapper. Go look at it here. You gotta be really careful with fish. A lot of fish, they have bones, which I feel the snappers got a bit here. So feel where they are. I usually take them out with tweezers, beforehand, but since we're just kind of doing this by ear, I'm just going to cut around them. We'll still have plenty of fish to use, and you can always use this little extra, the bone on it, for a broth, or you can find something to do with it. I never try to waste it. So check the bones, very important. If there's no bones in your dish, or you'll have a very unhappy customer. Okay. So here my water's starting to boil. Put this down. Wash my hands. Make sure not to cross-contaminate. Make anybody sick. Always when working with fish and proteins, don't want to cross-contaminate. This back in, keep it cold. Okay. So, first things first, we're going to put our butternut squash and our Brussels sprouts in. And before that, let's see where the bowl is at. Before that, we're going to just throw a little bit of spices on what we're going to put in there. This will go with a little olive oil. Always keep it nice and moist, and it has a great flavor to it. Then we'll do our spice mixture here, which was our Caribbean Thai, turmeric, cumin, etc., etc. Mix these up. So all the spices and oil get saturated between there. A little of this. Let these start to cook. Let the timer start in my head. Turn the quinoa to simmer. I cheat a little sometimes and look at it. You're not really supposed to, but I'd rather have my food be on time and quality rather than ruined and disappointing somebody. So I'm thinking about my fish now. I think I'm gonna leave it whole till I cook it, and then we're gonna deal with it later. So garlic doesn't take that long as well to cook, so I'm gonna keep this just whole, and I think I'll add some green beans just because I love them so much. And everything is always previously washed. Wash all my food. Rinse it really well. Don't want any pesticides or anybody else's dirty hands going into my body. So, take pride in always washing all my food. That should probably be enough. Grab another bowl here. Dirtied that one. And I'm going to do the same mixture, just olive oil, spices. We are using some red bell pepper. I think I will use a little more pepper on this just to make maybe these veggies a little spicier. Give them a little more distinction than our other batch. So I was keeping an eye on the temperature of my fish. So we're going to be ready to go in pretty soon. Okay. Quinoa is cooking beautifully. I'm going to leave that on low. Get my butternut squash and the Brussels sprouts. Everything's going just as planned. I'm actually going to turn those up a little bit. As long as you have enough water in your steamer, you can cook with it on high, but you just got to maintain, you have to know how much water you have. So I got some lemon. I think I'm going to, I'm actually going to thinly slice this, steam the lemon on top of my dish. Let it kind of just get in there. Juice on here. Again, my spice mixture on the fish pretty generously. There. Go with a little more. So we're going to be steaming this fish on top of all our vegetables. Right now I'm going to add my green beans and red bell pepper. Everything's cooking beautifully. Kind of layer these just across so they make a good bed. Then I can lay my fish right on top of that. And everything will just kind of marry together and become really nice. All the flavors will kind of go together. So, my lemon. Making sure I have enough. We're just kind of letting it get on the fish. It's not going to take really all that much to infuse this great lemon flavor into the fish. Lemon's very good after handling fish to rub around in your hands. It kind of definitely takes the smell away, and it kind of, in a way, naturally sanitizes your hands. I always say to wash with soap regardless, but sometimes soap can't really get that fish smell off your hands, and I found in my years of doing sushi that lemon has some great powers in relieving that smell. So, doesn't really take long when you're steaming. There's a lot of heat going on in there. I think I'm just going to give it, okay, we're going to turn this down to simmer, our quinoa. Quinoa looks beautiful. It's almost ready. What I like to do with my quinoa to make it a little different, I add a little bit of coconut oil in there. It gives it a lot of, I'd say about a good spoonful. It gives it a lot of body. And it makes it taste just so rich. It gives it kind of a tropical note to it. So, I think we're about ready to put our fish. Clean my knife first. We're ready to put our fish on top of our vegetables. I'm going to kick the heat down just a tiny bit. Always be careful when you're working around any sort of cooking, but especially around steam. It can sometimes just hop out and get you and cause some really bad burns that you're not going to want to deal with. So, all right, let's see here. Got our collard greens that we're going to wrap fish in. Got to kind of choose. These ones look like pretty good sized ones. And we're also going to, like all sushi has, most sushi has avocado in it, which would be the sushi rolls, the maki, not sushi, which is fish on rice, not sashimi, which is just fish. Talking about the maki, which is your sushi rolls, where they're very artistic, and when you make them, you think about your design and what it's going to look like when you cut it open. So I kind of just keep an avocado bowl here. We're probably just going to get that a little chunked down. Lay it out. Pretty. Put my garlic in. Fish is looking beautifully. Quinoa is coming together beautifully. Now I got to think into my head plating. How am I going to do this plating? What kind of plate do I want to use? How's my design going to be? And I'm thinking, I'm just going to use your standard white circle plates. And you're literally being judged by everybody who eats your food always. So you got to always think color on your dishes. It's very, very important. I like to use a lot of cilantro. I have that on hand today, or parsley, and just kind of like pretty up the plate, you know. Gotta make the plate your artist palette. You gotta bring it to life with your food. So everything you do, you know, even if it's off the top of your head, in a way it's premeditated, because you're always thinking how you can improve this dish, you know. Even if you know what you want to do right offhand, and there's always ways you can make it better, different presentation. You know, you eat with your eyes first. So if somebody sees something that looks just fabulous, you know, your first instinct from your taste buds is going to be like, this is going to taste great. But on the other hand, if it doesn't so much, you're already at a disadvantage. So I try to always make my plates look as beautiful as they can be. And that's something I learned over time. Even my granola in the morning looks like it could have been served in a five-star restaurant. So it's kind of just the passion of cooking that I've taken. So, got some cilantro here. Always keeping an eye on everything. Fish looks awesome. It's starting to flake apart. Means it's about done. Quinoa looks beautiful. I'm actually gonna take the top off it to let a little moisture start to evaporate out, and I'm gonna add some spices in there. Just some of my spice mix. I love it dearly, and it makes everything taste good. I switch it up week to week, month to month. Different spices I use. Maybe if something's bothering me, if I'm having maybe a runny nose or anything, you can always, accommodate with the food you eat to, help you feel better. So I just mix that up. I'm gonna just set it back, let it warm. And I do believe, I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds. I do believe that it's done, but might as well start by garnishing the plates. Like French chef of mine, my mentor, one of my mentors, taught me always either parsley, sometimes you do a little mix of like really finely ground carrot in there. Just something for color. I like cilantro. It's like one of my favorites. I'm always using it. I think it goes really well with any sort of a seafood dish, unless somebody just absolutely hates it. We'll just get our plate ready when we're trying to kill some time here. Clear our cutting board off a little bit so we have space to work. Okay. Now we're gonna put our collard greens in. I'll do 3, just one. I'm gonna just need 2, but 3 just in case something happens to go wrong. We're gonna put our collard greens on top of everything going on here. Break the stems back. Fit. We're just gonna let these steam for about maybe 30 seconds just so they're playable. And in the meanwhile, I take my quinoa off the heat, and I'm already thinking in my head how I want my plate to look. So I'm gonna take my quinoa